The news was just announced that WNBA TV ratings are down more than 50% since Caitlin Clark's injury.
WNBA ratings is in a heap of trouble without Caitlin.
WNBA ratings are down more than 50% since Caitlin Clark's injury.
Ratings without Caitlin Clark, they're just down a lot, a whole lot.
One player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears.
The WNBA's ratings have gone in the tank without Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark goes down and the WNBA collapses. Ratings have crashed over 50%.
The Fever's nationally televised games are down 55%. The ratings are still way down without Caitlin Clark.
Fans are tuning out, and with her return still uncertain, the future looks shaky.
The scary thing is ratings as a whole are down. What does that mean? It means that the fans that are there for Caitlin Clark and staying are currently losing interest without Caitlin Clark.
The Indiana Fever television viewership is also down over 53%.
If you stand with Caitlin and believe she deserves full support, drop a 100% in the comments right now, because without her, this league is falling apart.
Caitlin Clark is the system. She is the system.
She's fourth in the league in MVP voting.
Caitlin Clark is an absolute all-star. She is the Michael Jordan of this. This is the girl that girls have been waiting for forever.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
Yeah, she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
When Caitlin Clark went down, it wasn't just Indiana Fever fans who felt the impact. It was the entire WNBA. Almost overnight, the league's ratings nosedived in a way we haven't seen in modern sports history. Nationally televised WNBA games are down a staggering 55%.
The superstar Fever guard has been out since May 24th, strained left quad, and since then, nationally televised games are down 55%. Holy.
And Indiana Fever games specifically have dropped 53%, according to Nielsen data in USA Today reporting.
WNBA TV ratings down more than 50% since Caitlin Clark injury. This is bad.
The ratings, they're not good.
Before her injury, Fever games were averaging 1.81 million viewers. Since she's been out, just 847,000. That's not a dip. That's a collapse.
1,810,000 viewers with Clark compared to 847,000 without.
Let's put that into context. The WNBA spent years trying to grow its national visibility, and with Caitlin Clark's arrival, it finally looked like they had a breakout star who could deliver consistent ratings. She was the difference between a random Tuesday night game being a hit or a flop. Christine Brennan, a respected journalist, even pointed out that this drop was utterly predictable.
This was utterly predictable. This was utterly predictable.
She said it weeks ago. If Caitlin Clark gets hurt or is kept off the court, the league will suffer. And now that prediction has come true in the worst way. Take the recent matchup between two powerhouse teams, the New York Liberty and the Chicago Sky. With names like Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, and Angel Reese, this game should have been a massive draw. It aired on ESPN during prime time and had all the makings of a rating success, but instead it only managed 600,000 viewers, not even close to the million-plus numbers Clark was pulling regularly.
The New York Liberty and the Chicago Sky did a whopping 600,000 on ESPN, which is, ironically, less than half.
In fact, a Clarkless Fever game on ION, a far less visible network, pulled in 851,000 viewers, 250,000 more than the Liberty versus Sky matchup on ESPN. That's unheard of. Even more shocking, some games featuring top teams like the Dallas Wings or Seattle Storm on major platforms have barely outperformed low-profile Fever games without Clark. And when she was active, even games on smaller networks like NBA TV or CBS Sports were doing big numbers.
first time we saw the New York Liberty on national television this year, they did wonderful. The first time we saw the Chicago Sky on national television this year, they did wonderful. We're actually gonna get to that momentarily. The first time we saw the New York Liberty this year, they did 1.3 million views.
Her presence alone shifted the entire media dynamic. But this isn't just about a spike in ratings. It's about a clear dependence. The WNBA finally had a golden ticket in Caitlin Clark. People who never watched the league before were tuning in because of her. She was bringing in new fans, casual sports viewers, and even non-sports audiences.
So in 2024, she averaged 16.5 points per game, 4 assists, 5.5 rebounds. She shot 37% from the field and 31.8% from three. Now, if you look at her preseason in 2025, she only played 2 games in this preseason, and one was against that Brazilian national team. She played 21 minutes. She averaged 14.5 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. She shot 52.5% from the field and 50% from three-point range.
But now with her sidelined and no timeline for return, those same viewers are tuning out, and the damage goes deeper than just TV numbers. Sponsors notice, networks notice, future contract negotiations, like the upcoming media rights deal, notice. These are the very metrics that shape the business future of the league. So when Caitlin's off the court and the numbers collapse, it's not just an injury story, it's a financial and strategic crisis.
Caitlin Clark absent due to a strained left quad has a significant impact on WNBA TV rating.
Worse yet, some fans now suspect the league or the Fever are mismanaging her return, and they're voicing that frustration. There's already outrage over how she's been treated on the court, from hard fouls to being left unprotected, and now her absence is becoming symbolic of how the league handles its most valuable player.
The league's TV ratings have declined with sideline Caitlin Clark. Nationally televised WNBA viewership is down 55% in her injury, according to Nelson. Fever nationally televised games are down 53% since Clark injury, and it was at 1.8 million viewers averaged before her injury. Now it's down to 800,000 viewers average since her injury has happened.
This isn't just about losing a few viewers. This is about the WNBA staring down the possibility that the one player responsible for their recent surge might not come back soon, or worse, might not come back to the same role. And if that happens, the trust of those new fans may be gone for good.
Chloe Peterson got all of this today. This is going to be Caitlin Clark, and this is a little jumper line that they got going on, a little mid-range shot, and that was Caitlin Clark. So, yeah, she's doing a little practicing, but she's just not ready yet.
Caitlin Clark hasn't played since May 24th due to a strained left quad, and yet despite her being the single biggest draw in the league, the Indiana Fever have been strangely cautious.
The Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark's absence due to a left strain has had a significant impact on the WNBA TV ratings. The league TV ratings have declined with Clark sidelined.
Maybe too cautious. Coach Stephanie White gave a vague status update saying they were limiting reps and trying to ease players back into rhythm.
Steph White.
Today, how do you anticipate their status being for?
Yeah, I mean, we limited their reps, but really tried to get him up and down the floor a little bit, starting to try to get into game rhythm, game speed, game pace, timing a little bit off, rhythm a little bit off, but continuing to try to work them in as much as we could.
But fans aren't buying it, because while Clark is doing individual drills and pushing to return, she's still being benched, and no clear timeline has been given.
Stephanie White spoke with the media.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just understanding that, we have opportunity to grow through some circumstances that might not be ideal. The ball's getting in other people's hands outside of Caitlin because she's not on the floor, and how are we able to get one another in positions to be successful? Players are getting minutes that might have been limited with both Caitlin and Sophie out. I think the other piece is really balancing overuse for players like Kelsey and Lexi and trying to get them rest.
It's raising serious questions. Is she really not ready, or is she being held back? Sophie Cunningham, also injured, admitted she might have come back too early before and re-injured herself.
Maybe came back a little bit too soon, freak accident, so really can't control it, so I just got to keep controlling what I can control. And that was bringing energy to my team, and so I'm still going to do that regardless of where I'm at.
What have you been able to do in the interim to try to keep some cardio, try to get shots up, if anything?
Yeah, when the situation I have going on, you have to be a little bit careful with it, but I think I've been progressing really well every single day, and I'm pretty much full go now, so.
That's one concern. But the bigger issue is this. The league's top star, the one everyone's tuning in to watch, is being sidelined while her team spirals and fans grow frustrated. Some creators are now openly calling out Stephanie White, saying she's trying to mold Clark into something she's not, pushing her away from her natural, heliocentric style of play and into a system that doesn't fit her strengths.
Stephanie White said the team is going to be cautious with Caitlin Clark and make sure she's fully ready to go before allowing her to play again.
One even said it feels like they're trying to turn her into Paige Buchers, a solid team facilitator, rather than letting Caitlin be Caitlin, the offensive engine she was born to be. There's a growing belief that Clark isn't being utilized properly, or worse, that internal politics are limiting her role.
One fan stated, brutal, and even the CCFB isn't great. If you want to be winning chips, you gotta be gassing those gummies, not slowing them down.
Fans have noticed it. Commentators have said it. Even rival players have commented on how different the Fever looks without her on the court. It's not just about her being out with an injury. It's about what feels like a total system failure to protect, support, and fully unleash the WNBA's biggest star. And that's why the idea that she might never return, not just physically, but mentally or even emotionally, is starting to feel less like wild speculation and more like a real threat. Because if the league keeps treating its biggest asset like a problem to manage rather than a superstar to celebrate, how long before she starts thinking twice about giving them everything she's got?
Caitlin has always been an underrated athlete. She's the fastest player in the league to me with the ball in her hands, and she was the best guard finishing around the rim last year.
And she was the MVP.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
The WNBA isn't just dealing with a ratings problem, it's dealing with a full-blown identity crisis. Without Caitlin Clark on the floor, the Indiana Fever are unraveling, both in performance and in purpose. And it's not just costing them games, it's threatening the entire league's momentum. Let's start with on-court performance. Before her injury, Clark was averaging 19 points, 9.3 assists, and 6 rebounds per game. Those are all-star level stats for any player, let alone a rookie. She had already recorded a triple-double in her first 4 games, proving she was more than hype.
Caitlin Clark is far better of a basketball player and has made such a tremendous impact in a greater number, more so than Angel Reese. Everybody knows that. Her college career was better. The stadium sales, the WNBA popularity has gone up because Caitlin Clark.
But once she went out with that left quad strain, the Fever offense sputtered to a near standstill. Without her, their fast break points fell to 0 in a recent game. Let that sink in. 0. The team that was averaging 12.3 fast break points per game with her is now posting just 3.8 per game. The lowest in the league, even lower than Phoenix. The next worst team at 8.2. That's not just a bad stretch. That's structural collapse. The offense is now painfully slow, with players walking the ball up the floor. Critics are calling it tough to watch, and fans who came to see an electric, modern brand of basketball are tuning out in real time.
A lot of fans of Caitlin Clark are being turned off by what's going on in the league right now and are just going to watch her and her team.
And here's where it gets worse. Inside the franchise, there's growing suspicion that this isn't just about an injury or bad luck. It's about coaching and internal misalignment. Stephanie White, the Fever's head coach, has been vague, defensive, and increasingly criticized. While she claims they're being cautious, her indecisiveness and unclear communication have fans fuming. Many believe she's not building around Caitlin Clark's strengths, but instead trying to contain her. One analyst bluntly stated, "They're trying to turn Caitlin into Paige Buckers," meaning a more passive facilitator rather than the offensive engine Clark truly is. Worse still, the minutes Clark vacated haven't gone to promising young talent.
The entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down.
Instead, they're going to Sydney Colson, a veteran who, according to fans and commentators alike, has no business eating up key minutes over developing talent or even maintaining competitiveness. This has led to heated debates online about favoritism, wasted potential, and questionable decision-making inside the Fever locker room. This isn't just talk among YouTubers and fans. Even respected journalists like Christine Brennan are chiming in, highlighting how unprecedented this situation is. She compared Clark's impact to Tiger Woods, stating that no single player in any major sport has ever carried this kind of weight so early in their career. One injury, and more than half the league's audience vanished. That's not normal. That's catastrophic dependence. But let's pull the lens back even further. The WNBA just signed a $2 billion media rights deal, which was supposed to represent a turning point, a sign that women's basketball was finally commanding the big dollars. But that deal was predicated on continued growth, not regression. With ratings in free fall and the one player responsible for the momentum now sidelined indefinitely, that deal suddenly looks unstable.
It is the worst possible thing that can happen, is the ratings coming out. It is the worst possible thing because you cannot work on the assumption anymore that the league's TV deal is going up. You cannot work on that assumption because the ratings are down over 50%.
It casts doubt not only on current revenue, but on future salary negotiations, sponsorships, and player leverage during the upcoming collective bargaining agreement (CBA) talks.
Even without Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever are the most viewed team by 100 miles in the WNBA.
And make no mistake, the players know it. As one analyst put it, if the rest of the league averaged what the Fever did without Clark, the owners would be terrified.
First time we saw the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark this year. Nationally televised WNBA viewership is down 55%. Fever nationally TV games are down 53%.
Right now, they aren't terrified. They're annoyed. They're watching a golden opportunity slip away, and the vibe around the league is turning toxic. Instead of focusing on rising stars or team rivalries, the narrative has become, what's going on with Caitlin Clark, and why is the WNBA fumbling the bag? Even among her own fans, there's growing anxiety. What if she doesn't come back the same? What if she chooses to sit out longer than expected? What if the tension between her and the coaching staff worsens and leads to deeper issues?
Without Caitlin Clark, they played the worst basketball in the history of pro basketball.
Lack of chemistry, poor team dynamics, even thoughts about switching teams or exploring options outside the WNBA? Because here's the truth no one in the WNBA wants to say out loud. Caitlin Clark is bigger than the league right now, and that's not an insult to the WNBA. It's a testament to how magnetic, marketable, and transformative she is. But it also means that if they can't get this right, if they can't protect her, support her, and build around her, it's not just the Fever that suffer, it's every single team, every TV contract, and every paycheck. She brought the audience. She brought the advertisers. She brought the mainstream media attention that the league has been begging for. And now as she sits on the bench, watching her team struggle, the entire WNBA feels like it's holding its breath. Not just hoping she returns, but praying she still wants to. Because without her, this league isn't just hurting, it's on the verge of wasting its greatest opportunity in decades. The WNBA had a once-in-a-generation moment handed to them.
In 4 games this year, she's averaging 19 points a game, 9.3 assists, and 6 rebounds, and she's already had a triple-double this season.
And now it's slipping away. Caitlin Clark didn't just elevate her team, she carried an entire league into mainstream relevance. And with her sidelined, everything from ratings to reputation is crashing. Fans are frustrated, trust is fading, and the longer her return is delayed or mishandled, the more damage is done. This isn't just about one injury. It's about how the league protects its future. Because if Caitlin Clark walks away, so does half the audience.
WNBA rumors suggest Caitlin Clark will be among the first stars making $1 million annually. The most notable of which is, y'all already know who, the needle mover, Caitlin Clark.
So in 2024, she averaged 16.5 points per game, 4 assists, 5.5 rebounds. She shot 37% from the field and 31.8% from three. Now, if you look at her preseason in 2025, she only played 2 games in this preseason, and one was against that Brazilian national team. She played 21 minutes. She averaged 14.5 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. She shot 52.5% from the field and 50% from three-point range. Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball, period.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT.
She signed my jersey. So happy, I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Drop a 100% in the comments if you stand with her, and if you believe the WNBA needs to wake up before it's too late.